Good morning. All right, it is day 16 of my bread habit. And yesterday was actually a pretty easy bread day. Actually, that's not 100% true. We did get these chocolate muffins that looked amazing yesterday. And I just looked at them and groaned, like literally groaned when they came into the house. But it has become much easier just to say, I don't need that. You know, it's coming in. It's coming in. We're gonna get into that a little bit later in this video, actually. So, yesterday we talked about the marshmallow test, right? We talked about the fourth law of behavior change, which is make it satisfying, make it rewarding, right? And they looked at those marshmallows and knew that they could get a second one if they just delay that gratification. Here's the problem. We all know that delayed gratification pays off, right? We all know it's wise. It's not a new subject matter for us, right? We understand that, and yet we don't always do it. When we're standing in the checkout line and we're hungry now, even though we've got a cart full of good and healthy food that we're taking home because we followed our shopping list in the store, still standing in that checkout line, sometimes we grab those Reese's Pieces or the Butterfinger or a Snickers bar or whatever it is that you usually go to. We know that we shouldn't watch TV until we're done whatever that take-home work is, because otherwise we're up till 1 o'clock in the morning still working on our laptops. Same thing, kids, as we grew up, what was it? It was finish your homework, then go out and play. And if we finished our homework first, it took like an hour. But if we went out and played first and then came home and did the homework, like we had to stop to do dinner, and then we stopped and watched some TV with the family, and then we stopped this and we stopped that. We chatted with friends on the phone, wrote a letter to our boyfriend or girlfriend, right? That's what we did. And the homework, again, didn't get done until like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning. So we know, for decades, we've realized that delaying gratification gets the job done faster, right? It actually makes more sense. And yet we still take that easy reward. And why? Because it's satisfying. Make it satisfying. It's a law of behavior. That satisfying purchase, that satisfying taste, that's what makes us continue to do these bad behaviors. Again, we're getting into breaking bad behaviors next. So we need those positive reinforcements. We mentioned this a little bit yesterday too, right? We're going to substitute an action. We're going to put it into a place and trick our brains into making us do the positive habit. So yesterday I said, when I go to Starbucks, I will first go to the gym and then I will go get my coffee, right? So I mentioned when I was listing my habits and cues that I realized when I walk to the fridge to fill up my ice and water that I'll open the fridge sometimes and look to see what food is in there I want to munch on, or it's sitting next to the pantry. I'll open the pantry, or the pantry door is open and I look in there anyway, and I was just grabbing a handful of whatever. I didn't need it. I wasn't hungry. It was just there. I kind of wanted something sweet or salty in my mouth. So now I'm closing the pantry door. And this is the action I substituted in for going to the fridge. So I still want to, open the fridge, but instead of grabbing something, I like pickle juice. I know, goofy, but I love the taste of pickle juice, and a little taste of pickle juice isn't going to hurt nobody, right? So instead of eating something, I'll open the fridge and take a little swig of pickle juice. Does that work, right? When I go to the fridge and fill up my water, I will take a swig of pickle juice. And that tricks my brain, gives it something that it likes. It's not sugary, it's not tons of calories, it's just like a little shot of vinegar and dill, right? That positive reinforcement helps me to continue with the correct actions to sustain the behavior that I want to use to make my habit, right? Boom. Now, positive reinforcement's tough when you realize that it's a habit of avoidance that you're creating. So, I like to shop on Amazon. I buy something on Amazon every single day. Now I'm going to stop shopping on Amazon, right? Like, where's the positive reinforcement in that? What am I going to do instead of shopping on Amazon? Well, I guess that depends, right? Like if it's about budget, if it's about saving money, perhaps now that you're saving hundreds by not shopping on Amazon, you can throw a 20 into a savings account each week and use that for a weekend getaway in a couple of months, 66 days later, maybe, right? Or if your habit is to eat out less, perhaps every time you and your spouse and family eat out less, since that could cost, depending on the size of your family, over $100, you put $50 into a bank account. And again, you and your wife, maybe take a trip. If you can find a way to create little tweaks to satisfy yourself in the short term, that'll stick in the long term. You got to make sure to not use a destructive habit to fill in as a reward. So if I want to lose weight, and in order to lose weight, I want to eat healthier, I'm not going to reward myself after a week with a bowl of ice cream, right? Like that's counterproductive. Likewise, if I'm running to lose weight, I'm not going to say, well, after I run for a week, I can have a bowl of ice cream or eat a Snickers bar. No, that's counterproductive. So maybe if I'm running, I treat myself to a massage or some quiet time, in a sudsy bath. Or if trying to think of another one. Sorry, just kind of ran for a blank there. I had several thoughts in mind when I was putting this together. Obviously, you're not going to go spend money on a new pair of shoes or a leather jacket if you're trying to save money as well, right? So you wouldn't reward yourself in that way if your idea was budget. If you were trying to save for budget. Now, again, if you're saving hundreds, perhaps buying something small as a treat once you've saved hundreds would be okay. But you're not gonna, you save $1,800 one month, you're not gonna go buy a one wheel, which is $1,800. So eventually these things will become your identity, by the way, right? I am a runner. I am a healthy eater. I am a vegetarian. I am good with my money. Eventually, these behaviors start to become your identity. And as your identity kicks in, tricking your brain isn't going to be as necessary because now you get the intrinsic value of that being a part of who you are. So stick with tricking your brain. Find ways to trick your brain so that way you can stick with the behavior until it becomes part of your identity. That's a little bit different than a habit. Right? Still hasn't become automatic. It's just how you represent yourself. So that's it for today. Tomorrow, we're going to get a little heavier into accountability partners. So I'm going to put in the comments here a link to the accountability partner survey that we had filled in. We only had about a half dozen people fill that in. I'd love to see some more people jump onto that. So I'll put that into the links comments today. I'm going to put it into the comments tomorrow because it's what we're talking about. And then again, we're going to get into bad habits. We've talked a lot about reinforcing good behavior and good habits, and we're going to talk about breaking bad habits after tomorrow. Thanks all. Have a good one.